Drake Bell's mother, like, she needs to answer for some shit, bro.
She used to get tossed off a fucking cliff.
Well,
Oh,
and they said
that's
that once she
insane.
found out what happened, like, she went hard. Like, she's like, oh, let's call the cops and everything. But the fact that it was allowed to happen, especially after the dad warned her about the motherfucker, like,
Yes. Welcome back to the Blunt Lab. I am Al, joined by my brothers Marcus, Rick, and Sean. What's going on, fellas?
what's up?
Fight the power,
buddies?
motherfuckers.
Yes, today we're going to jump into quite a few things. Hopefully we can get to it all. Let's start off with the first clip, because I know in our last episode we had talked about Haiti a little bit. We might have veered off some certain things, but I wanted to let this lady make a point that I probably didn't make in the last clip.
Tell yourself no lies. Without the truth, we're not going anywhere. Yes, Haiti's mission is to create a land, a space where all black people who are in trouble anywhere in the world can come in and find refuge. So when you understand that, you also understand why any nation with this kind of mission in this white supremacy world that we're living in must be continuously under attack from every corner. That's normal. That's natural. And it is insane if you are an Haitian to make believe or to tell yourself that you're gonna go to your country and build a nice home and enjoy the sea on Sunday and, have a little fun, relax. I'm sorry. You should find another place where you should go do this. You cannot come and do this here. Because this here place is the center of the biggest war happening in this world. Because it does not have any one enemy. It has white supremacy as an enemy. And they are not asleep. They know, even if they kiss up with you, even if they sleep with you, they have identified you as their enemy and they're gonna go after you. If they're kissing up on you, it means that you are in a position where they don't feel they can attack you openly now. If they're feeding you, you should know there's a lot of possibility that this food is poison. If you're drinking from them, you should know that there are great possibilities that there is something in this drink for you.
Now, a lot of the clips you're seeing in Haiti, I just wanted folks to know that that is not the entire country that is in turmoil like that. What you're seeing is just the capital. The gangs will never make their way to the other parts of the country that have money. In no way, shape, or form. They would find their asses getting fucked up doing some shit like that. So yeah, folks, it's not the entire country that looks like shit the way the media is portraying it. It is just the capital where those gangs are running amok and doing that kind of shit. But no, Haiti's always going to be in turmoil because, again, they want black folks to be free. And there are people in this world that do not want black folks to be free, whether it's Haiti or Africa, and even the United States of America. But we won't push it out. Our prayers are with the folks in Haiti. We hope things get better soon. Moving on. Next clip. Yo, I know I've expressed certain fears. Driving over bridges is one of them. This shit right here.
You're confirmed.
Look at this clip. Yeah. This took place around 1 a.m, which is why it's dark. If you're watching closely, you'll see the power flick on, twice. You see smoke coming from the ship. Then once it goes black for the second time, crash. Right into the fucking bridge.
It's quick.
That's a good driver right there. That's a good pilot.
And, I don't know anything about these big-ass cargo ships. But, there's got to be a way to steer these things manually if there's no fucking power.
Bro,
Because you can't tell me that,
For sure.
they have
they didn't prepare
multiple,
for something like that.
they have multiple propulsion devices. Like, they have different,
Look at that.
like,
Look at
not
that.
just out the back, they come out the side. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, not only that, but I'm sure there's multiple fail-safes. In systems like that, there's typically multiple fail-safes to make sure that something catastrophic doesn't happen. So, yeah.
It's crazy to see the way the fucking bridge just collapses the way it did. I believe search rescues are still underway. Divers are still looking for, at least they said 20 people are missing.
They have a casualty as of, like, right now, or account.
Nah.
And here's what I know for sure. I don't have the numbers just yet on how many they haven't found. I do know the majority of the bridge, the people were still in the cars and the bridge was floating on top of the water. It's really only like right underneath, right in the area above where the ship came in, and that part of the piers is where there's people that they're looking for.
On a positive note, they were able to get apparently a mayday out to land crews, and they got the bridge shut down so no other cars could enter the bridge at some point before impact. But yeah, I believe there were still cars obviously traversing it.
Now, that's off of, if I'm sorry if I'm misquoting, but I'm pretty sure it's like the 395 skirt off of 95 for that bridge. You guys have all driven through Baltimore. I know you two have, Sean.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
You guys have driven down 95 and gone on the bridge that goes under the water, right? Okay, so this is that outskirt that heads east and out. My understanding is that they've been lobbying for a number of years now to get like some odd $3 billion or $2.5 billion or something along those lines to get that bridge restructured, and they keep shooting it down and keep shooting it down. So to me, this smells really funny.
Well, and not only that, but you bring up a good point. I don't know. It seemed kind of funny to me just because of the fact that what I heard immediately was that it's going to skyrocket gas prices and it's going to drive up prices of different goods and things like that. And it immediately reminded me of when they got that tanker stuck in the strait and they couldn't get it turned around. And for like weeks, prices skyrocketed. And we kept thinking it was going to come back down, but it was just a new normal. Like, they don't drop prices. They just leave them where they are. And I feel like it feels very engineered, man. I'm going to be honest.
I was thinking the same thing because I was watching different angles of how the ship was coming in. And like, dude, I'm pretty sure everybody else is saying the same thing.
Yeah.
All the conspiracy theorists or whatever. It looked literally like they purposely steered that fucking boat into that.
If the power had gone up once and it had then done that, but the fact that it flickered in power and it's like they almost like steered it and they knew it was off trajectory. They turned it back on, turned it more, and then they shut it down again. That's what it seems like, man.
The simulation is strong, you guys. And what I mean by strong is the simulation has always been, but we're starting to get to a point where we can see right through it. We're red-pilled.
And like, dude, we discuss and review movies on the show as well. For me, if I'm going to go conspiracy, there's stages to how some of these attacks go down. Think of Die Hard, Live Free, or Die Hard with Justin Long.
Yeah, yep. On the
several stages to shut everything down. I mean, the most recent one, Leave the World Behind. Sir, there's different stages into shutting shit down and to making things chaotic in them. If we can just hope that this was an accident, we just have to wait and see what happens after this.
Correct.
If there are more accidents like this that follow, then we'll know that, hey, this was no fucking accident. Now, let me pose Singapore. I believe this boat was out of Singapore. How close to China is Singapore?
China? I mean, it's another island there, like off of the coast.
That's in proximity. It's definitely that area.
It's closer than Japan to China.
Wouldn't be far-fetched to think that the Chinese are behind this.
Racist.
I try to get back from last week. No, I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. Like, I really don't think that it's anything like that. I think if it's anything, it's more likely at this point that we see things from our government than we see anything from the Chinese. I don't think we're in any danger of being taken over. I think if we're being taken over, it's a continuation of the takeover that's already happened of the people. Like, it's just that's the way to jack us again.
This is going to be an internal thing that has to do with either insurance or an appropriation of funds or, something along those lines. Something, because here's how you know this, because by now somebody would have claimed or disclaimed it. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, someone would have been like, aha, we just did that. Or it would have been like, oh no, we didn't do that. Like, this is definitely internal if it is anything other than operator error. But again, like we've talked about, there's multiple jets on the side of those barges. They have jets on all of those sides. Like, all of them are in, most of them are in like their own independent systems. So if one fucks up, the other ones can push. You understand? That's how giant rig ships can pull right into a small little port. How do you think
an airplane can stay afloat in the air, like doing its thing with one engine left? I mean, there's multiple fail safes for these big catastrophic things that could happen. And I find it hard to believe that there's something that wouldn't be able to kick on, or like Al mentioned, some kind of auto, like a manual pilot, to where you could avoid something catastrophic like that happening. What if they lost power at the dock? Like, that's got to be thought of.
Because they said once the ship set sail that they were having problems once it set off.
So don't go under a bridge.
Exactly. Secondly, they say where the ship was sailing, it should have been being towed, if you will, by 2 tugboats.
They call those yep, they call those pilots. They have pilots. Mm-hmm. Yep, that take them through small areas. That's what I'm getting at. Like, some of this stuff just is not adding up.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I think that a lot of people, they're at the point now where, and I heard somebody say something the other day. I was watching a little clip of something, and they were talking about some of these powerful families and blah, blah, blah. And they've talked to these people, and the people that are in charge and running these plots and stuff, they aren't concerned. They are concerned because most people won't dig more than on a superficial level. They'll watch what's on the news and they'll say, oh, that's unfortunate, and they'll continue on with their daily lives. But it's shit like this where some people dig in and find that out, and then they start putting, and it's happening more and more with, with the social media and the TikTok. So we're starting to find these things out faster and quicker. So they're not being able to skirt it anymore. They can't steer it away as quickly. And so, yeah, I think it's gaining traction. Like, we are gaining traction on what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've seen 3 different videos. I don't know how concerned we should be of them transporting war vehicles, if you will, military vehicles, if you will.
I mean,
into Vegas.
Well, is that
part of the eclipse stuff?
I was going to say, there's a couple of reasons why they might be. I know, they've been mentioning the eclipse stuff a lot, and like, there's a lot of weird messages going on about the eclipse, like warnings and stuff. But also, I know that periodically they do those exercises where they'll send a bunch of like military vehicles into one area, and it always trips people out. And they always have some cover story for it. But the last couple of times they started talking about like Agenda 2013 and Agenda 2021 when it started bumping up. And so, yeah, they've been saying that for a while. But yeah, I've seen some questionable things like that.
Honestly, guys,
like that
on the East Coast, I see this stuff all the time right here. I see trainloads of those guys go by all regular, at least 3 times a year.
I was just curious.
That is a lot, though. That's
what I'm saying. Like, I've seen some things that are kind of like, okay, that's kind of normal. But then I've seen some other things where I'm like, okay, that's definitely questionable. That's definitely questionable.
And where and actually when is the footage is a big one to bring up, too, because you'll see that, especially when we have anywhere that's declared an emergency, you will see those convoys going down the highways and on the trains because it's cheaper to pull them on the train than to use the gas and then get them in those areas. That's a pretty regular thing. They're going to be able to play that off.
Yeah, the creator of this one said this was like a day ago.
Yeah, I know that they're mobile. They've actually talked about mobilizing, I think, many agencies for the eclipse. They talked about how FEMA's going to be involved. Yeah. They're bringing in hazmats. They're bringing in a lot of different things. They said the main reason is because they know there's going to be lockdown on the highways and it's going to cause traffic. Now, there's evidence of that happening back in 2017 when it happened last time up north where I was at. They said it did kind of gridlock the highways and stuff, but I don't know how much it's going to involve these other agencies coming in, and like there's a lot of people there coordinating with.
Here's a couple elements to apply into that. Yes, you're correct exactly about what you're saying, Sean. They anticipate a lot more people coming in together to see it. But here's a couple of things to put into consideration. Number one, a lot of the people out there talking conspiracy talk, right, are getting to a point where what they're saying is, number one, the sun has moved. That this is not a legitimate eclipse. That the sun, not us in general, have moved any differently than we do, but that the sun itself has shifted. That's a part one. Part two is that this is some sort of like manufactured push to make the eclipse occur down this line to get some sort of chain reaction out of our satellites and our communication systems. So they anticipate that this band that comes across, well, I'm backwards on the screen. So this band that kind of comes from somewhere between like, shut up, Sean, somewhere between like California and New Mexico, and it kind of goes across the center of the country and going towards you guys up in New York, that is sort of like the prime or the biggest half of it. And as it goes, that there's going to be a whole bunch of shit that happens that can A, easily be blamed on the eclipse itself, and B, to see our reactions. Just like the movie you just brought up where they turned all our shit off.
Also the cicadas. Did you hear about the cicadas?
And the cicadas.
It's two groups of cicadas, and they come up every 13 to 18 years. This is the first time that these two groups of cicadas have met together in 2,000 years. I don't know what it means, but it's true.
It's like all the movies that have shown us, like what the Bible talks about, and some other, not just the Bible, but several Bibles.
Well, yeah, because cicadas are basically locusts.
That's basically,
I'm pretty sure that they're pretty closely related to locusts, so that's kind of a thing.
And they have this weird alien-looking head, and they're loud as fuck. We have them here.
So they're very loud, yes.
For fucking sure. But we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens there. Also in the news, P.Diddy.
Wait, what? Who?
This fucking guy.
What did he do now? Who did he sign this time?
Who didn't he do now? Jesus.
So if y'all didn't see, we've been talking about how P.Diddy's been out there taking booty.
Giving booty.
Yeah, doing some
Harvey
things.
Weinstein and hip-hop.
And I'm starting to think that, I heard Jay Farrow mention this, and I was kind of saying the same thing before he said it out in the open. But I think Usher's Confessions album is about P. Diddy.
I mean, if you go back and listen now with a fresh mind, it has the new meaning for sure.
These are my confessions. Nah, not co-signing it.
Don't you dare.
How about that picture going around of the dog cage that shows Meek Mill in it and says Meek Mill when they hit his.
Oh.
I mean, okay, so I seen a comedian today and he said, okay, I'm not saying that Meek Mill is gay. I'm not saying that Meek Mill is gay. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying that is if Meek Mill is straight, he's doing a really bad job of proving it.
No, Meek is like being pretty open about it. Like he's not even talking like Diddy took it. He's not even saying Diddy took advantage of him. He's more or less saying, yeah, like I gave into that shit. I wanted it. You know what I mean? Like they, like some people jokingly say when we have all these different type of conversations, Meek was like, oh, I mean, that's all I got to do to get in? I'm it.
Yeah, Meek was like, dope, bet. Suck where?
I mean, you probably don't worry about prison as much if you like to get fucking fucked.
Okay, fair. Okay, but here's the thing. What I found out through this whole thing, because I was looking at the case the other day, is all this shit that's coming out now with all this stuff that he had been doing. And this motherfucker was living like bad boy style. Like he's in trouble now for slinging guns that he would get from the gangs that he had connections with. He would sling them out of his fucking houses in Los Angeles and Miami. So he was gun running, had a bunch of motherfuckers running around his house with these pouches that had to have all these drugs on them all the time. So he could always have access to these drugs. So he's got guns, drugs, and then he was doing a bunch of viewing parties where he'd invite a bunch of strippers and sex workers, but they would have multiple underage girls there too. And then he would spike the Ciroc and the De Leon, and he would make them drink it. And that's what that cat that brought the lawsuit was alleging. He was saying basically they forced him. He didn't want to drink because you don't drink. And they forced him to drink these shots that were obviously laced with ecstasy and all kinds of other shit. And he woke up next to a sex worker. It's like the same shit that they did at the Playboy Mansion. It's the same shit that they did at Epstein Island, where they fucking get you all fucked up and then they fucking record you doing some shit, and then Diddy's got you unlocked. That's why he's ran shit for so long, because all the shit that happens at his viewing parties. What's crazy is motherfuckers like Jamie Foxx have talked highly of these viewing parties and shit, like where they would, he's like, oh, Diddy was a man, he would get this person, this person, this person. So I don't know, man, it definitely raises eyebrows towards Jamie Foxx too. In my opinion, I like Jamie Foxx, I really do. But it's like,
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it was from Jamie Foxx that I heard Diddy used to throw these parties where these dudes would play basketball butt ass naked.
Yep.
That's wild. That's crazy.
That's why they took it out, bro. That's why it ain't Jay-Z no more.
Mace had the best reaction to it, though. Because you know he's had issues with it.
I haven't seen shit.
I saw Mace's reaction. Yeah, well, it was the best reaction. It said it was reparations are coming soon. And he just essentially alluded to like, hey man, I've been saying this about this thing, man. Like, he's a wild guy, man.
Well, it was the reason why Mace split off from Diddy, like, and did pretty solidly split off from Diddy for a while.
He did one album.
There's no way that they're raiding homes if they don't have some kind of information. Like, there's something more to this.
I have been saying this about
his ass fleeing away and shit.
Yeah, they said he did. He said he took off, like in his video.
He went, like Russell Simmons did. Like, Russell Simmons ain't been back in the States.
Micah, you got that clip I sent you earlier? The clip I sent you earlier from P. Diddy's video? If you got that and can play it, oh, that would be so awesome.
Like, what's his face? What's that director? That director that hasn't got back to the States. Polanski, yeah. He fucking took off too. They were about to nab him, and he's like, nope. And he took off. And now he's not welcome back.
But he was a nationalist anyway. He wasn't from here.
No, I get that. I'm just saying he was about to get arrested here.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And P. Diddy's sons are involved with this shit.
They were in cuffs and shit at one of the homes.
There it is.
Oh no.
Did he warn us about the escape plans?
Yeah, man. He said, I know what's gonna happen if it comes down.
P. Diddy was letting you know, man. I don't know the lyrics exactly, but talking about play fighting other, we was like brothers, play fighting other others.
It was the 27th anniversary of Life After Death too. The day. I
was gonna say, is that been around the world? I
what
do know all the lyrics.
Means to me the most, what it means the most, besides being like the whole Simpsons and just foretelling, is we're in a fucking simulation, you guys. Like, this is just another big, huge piece of evidence towards the fact that this is all being programmed.
I'm like, dude, because we're about to go into a topic, probably closely related or, similar, if you will. With all the things P. Diddy was doing to folks, willingly, unwillingly.
Willingly and
it's coming, it's coming to light how he was involved with Tupac's death.
Of course.
Possibly even Biggie's. I know for certain.
He was definitely involved in Biggie's death, bro.
I know
nobody gained more.
No doubt.
Nobody had more to gain from Biggie's
Absolutely,
death.
No doubt.
Nobody.
That one for sure. Tupac probably, him for sure.
Yeah. Him and Jay-Z, the only two that had the most. Oh, speaking of Jay, I don't want to cut you off. I'm sorry. 50 Cent trolling. Talking about where's Jay-Z at and all this.
50,
I don't know
50
what Jay-Z has to do with it.
50 been trolling. So what do you mean? Like, you haven't seen the whole shit where Jay-Z and Diddy got a fucking island together, bro?
Hey, I don't know.
Jay-Z, again, like I told you guys, Jay-Z was on the Epstein, Jay-Z, P. Diddy.
Oh, Jay-Z, definitely.
All of them.
Take nothing away from Jay. Take nothing away from Jay-Z. Jay-Z definitely built an empire, but I mean, at some point, they knew the influence that man had, and they grabbed him too, and he's definitely on that list.
He was the face of a motherfucking empire, and that's a shitty motherfucker right there.
That empire he built off of Biggie's raps. All of them off. Everybody likes to say, oh, Jay likes to go into the studio and freestyle and this and that.
Bro.
It's easy to do that if you already have somebody else's raps memorized.
Well, he was fighting and getting ghostwriters.
Dude, all you got to do is go back and listen to Big Shit. Word for word, Jay-Z bites off his shit.
Yes.
Word for fuck. And Marcus.
Yeah.
These guys don't know, but you know. I've been telling you about these niggas forever.
Yeah.
Forever. Now all this shit is coming to light.
I'm saying Diddy and Jay-Z had the most to gain. Like the two of them had the most to gain from Biggie's death. So
P.Diddy was trying to get Tupac on board. Tupac said no thank you. That pissed him off. That right there marked Tupac for death. Biggie was getting to walk away and sign a $62 or $65 million deal. Somewhere else. Because Bad Boy wasn't paying him. Diddy catches wind of this shit? What happens?
For what it's worth, though, I will say this. Like, other than the fucking with the kids and doing dudes to try to get them records and stuff, like that kind of weird shit. Other than that, like the criminal shit, like you were actually living the life, like you were slinging guns and doing the drugs and all the bitches at the parties. Other than the weird shit, good for you. I mean, you should support your life. I mean, that's what he's talking about. He's like, I do this shit. I mean, he was real about it. So, I mean, he wasn't just like robbing motherfuckers on the street. He wasn't snatching chains. He was pulling some shit.
He wasn't doing none of that, bro. He had motherfucking flunkies doing all that shit. He didn't do none of that.
He's right in the middle of it. He's setting it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the one saying go.
Master at best. And don't be surprised if it eventually all comes out that Puffy was just another fucking puppet, too. He's being a fall guy right now. I'm not saying he wasn't into the crazy fucking shit. But the only reason, and I've said this on multiple episodes,
I'm just saying, when you got charges for slinging guns out of your closet from your two homes on both coasts,
Weinstein got kicked out the club, Epstein got kicked out the club, Puffy's getting kicked out the club. That's what the fuck you're seeing happen right now. Wiener, I like calling him Wiener. That's what's happening.
Why did you just yell Wiener?
Anthony Weiner, he was another one that got outed out the club. Like, that shit doesn't come out unless they want it.
The word wiener. That's weird.
You know, Anthony fucking...
Everybody related with Bad Boy, man, is either dead or religious or...
Well, yeah, because he knew he could take it over so easy. He just fucking rubbed this person out, take this person down, shut this person up, and then it's all yours. I mean, that's how he's been dealing the whole time. Like, he has been... Look, that's all I'm saying. Like, yeah, he did some weird shit, too, but he was thugging. Like, for real thugging. Man. Like, he was doing Suge Knight shit, but little.
No, Diddy be wild, man. He be hitting people with bottles and shit. Like, he definitely has,
bro,
like,
he fucking popped a dude.
Shit about him.
His bouncer said some shit about that dude that's the head of the security. He popped some dude in the bathroom, and the dude, like, 2 hours, the cops were there questioning motherfuckers, blood all over the bathroom, and they were like, nah, nothing happened. Because that dude has connections with the cops.
That probably started with Diddy getting some fucking head from some dude in the bathroom, and then the fucking dude saw it.
Very well could have.
Sorry, I went extra with that.
But no, did you get? I don't know if you guys read this. Did you see that the head of Diddy's security, this guy, Mr. Mohammed, that's the dude that was the head of Michael Jackson's security when he died.
Yes, he was.
And there's a dude that goes on a deep dive with this shit. He starts talking about how this dude that was the head of Michael Jackson's security when he died just graduated college the year before that. And he starts talking about how's this motherfucker the head of this security company when he just graduated from college the year before that. Like this, I'll show you all. I put the link up the other day. I'll send it to y'all. It's worth a fucking look. It's crazy shit.
Definitely worth getting into. Definitely worth getting into. But Diddy's getting his upcomings. Yeah. He's getting his upcomings. Don't worry, Jay-Z's gonna catch up soon enough. Jay-Z's gonna catch up with him soon enough.
Also, Jay-Z's up here, and I think they're just leading the way. Yeah. Like you see, each one is a little bit higher up the chain.
Jay-Z's a little higher up the chain than Puffy.
Jay-Z's worried now, though. Jay-Z's definitely worried now because these motherfuckers dropped out.
There's footage of Diddy at a recent event, and you can see on his face how uptight and nervous he is.
Oh, I see that shit,
he knows what's about it. You know, R. Kelly's waiting for him. Kelly's waiting for him.
When Cassie filed that lawsuit, like, she said a whole lot of the stuff that's being known now. Like, she's been saying it. She was saying it before the lawsuit.
Oh, yeah, the shit that she said that he did to her, like, after all that shit? Yeah.
That shouldn't be news to anybody.
Like, well, that's what it started the lawsuit.
Like, he's been on demon time. This ain't new. And Diddy been acting wild for 30 years. Like, why is everybody surprised?
Like, he's been doing fucked up shit, and everybody's like, well, did he? I'm like, yeah, he just added some weirder shit now. He just went weirder with it.
He's just getting, like, well, I guess the light shining on it, but, like, it's been out there. It ain't like he hiding it. You see some of these interviews and the things that he says and how he talks to dudes, bro, that shit is wild.
Bro, have you seen Get Him to the Greek? His character in Get Him to the Greek, that's how he is. That's exactly how he is. He's wild as fuck like that.
We gotta thicken our revenue stream. We gotta thicken our fucking stream. We gotta thicken the fuck out of that stream right now. Shit is serious out here.
Fuck that,
The
man.
same way to people doing fucked up shit.
Nickelodeon. Oh, Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. Now, we've been talking about how Hollywood's been doing fucked up shit for years.
That shit's open secret. That shit's fucked up.
What I can't get is that is Disney gonna happen real soon too? Because Disney is
Yeah. I was telling my wife. About that. You're gonna see the Disney one next. Because think of the kids associated with this.
My God.
A lot of them are successful though, if you think about it. A lot of the people with Disney
are dead.
And no, it's not just like that shit with Nickelodeon, like that shit was crazy back then. Like if you look at all the focus on feet and like the sexualization of these children, like Disney didn't do it to that degree. Nickelodeon was the edgy thing. So that was their whole stick.
Like I haven't looked hard enough.
But I can see something coming out of Disney, but I don't see it being like,
But apparently Disney likes to hide dicks in their drawings.
Yeah, but I mean, who does?
Yeah, but that's from like the 30s. Like that's from the 30s. They've been doing
I
that.
was just saying, I mean, like, that's been known for a while, and they'll put little hidden innuendo, like little sexual messages. We talked about that. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not saying it's not harmless, but I mean, that's a couple of animators just being dickheads. Like, I don't know that it goes any more than that. I've seen the conspiracy theories and I've seen this and that, but at the end of the day, like if I'm kind of a juvenile, kind of asshole, kind of artist, I might throw a dick on a palace or two.
Yeah,
but
especially
if I know it's going on the fucking cover.
Every movie has a bunch of stuff in it, but think of it a little bit bigger picture than Disney. Disney is just like a bigger culprit within it, but think of it in a bigger picture. Child actors in general, this is not new. What we're seeing in the Nickelodeon situation happened to
that's different.
So many people. The Poltergeist girl, the kids from freaking oh my God!
I totally understand that there's a deep, dark secret behind all that shit. As far as the sex in the clouds and the dick on the palace, like I don't know, bro. I think that's a stretch.
It goes as far back as Drew Barrymore. The folks.
Drew Barrymore. What's Carrie Ann's real name? What they killed her when she was a jit, man. They sodomized her damn near to death. What's her name, John? You remember?
Carrie Ann.
Yeah.
Carolyn. Fuck.
I forget her name too.
I could tell you. My computer's
Nickelodeon shit crazy, bro.
There's certain things I want to point out because people are pointing it out as well. Something I've pointed out when you look at the Nickelodeon symbol. And you look at the area view of the Epstein Island. Same exact thing. If you watch the Ellen DeGeneres show, her background
it's the same as
the Epstein Island.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's striking. I didn't know that one. That's odd.
I didn't know that one. Wow.
Richard, it's Heather O'Rourke.
Heather O'Rourke, there you go.
Heather O'Rourke, the young girl that was in Poltergeist.
They like to throw this shit in your face. Like with this Nickelodeon show, like, man, oh man. I've been telling folks they did Amanda Bynes the way they did Kanye. The drugs took hold with Amanda Bynes, so there was no need to clone her ass because
we've talked about in this group before. That was a very sad thing because honestly, that girl, like, granted, she was really cute, and it was at that time where I was like,
think of where she would be at now.
So talented. Whoa. That girl had a natural born talent that was completely wasted. I honestly, watching her in movies was awesome. She was one of the few female actresses at the time that was just killing it. Got it. Sold every fucking movie. I mean, like, she had so much fucking talent.
Go Kia.
Kia. Hey, girl. How you doing, baby?
Not the same without you.
I know. I'm sorry. New school, new baby pool.
And to see that rob from her with all
those behind the scenes, the behind the scenes footage during the Nickelodeon show, which it was 4 episodes, if I recall right. There is a lot of behind the scenes footage where you just see her kind of going whim or, improving and not in front of the camera, et cetera, et cetera. To your point, she was extremely talented.
She was
right,
dude.
gifted, yeah.
They got her. They got her.
Sad, man.
She didn't want to play ball, so they did her exactly like they do the folks who don't want to play ball.
Well, but here's the thing with her. I think that, and I mean the series goes more into it, but it was kind of fucked up with her because she had that link to fame in Dan Schneider, and it's something that the series doesn't go heavily into. I mean, I feel like there's a lot more to the involvement of Dan Schneider than the series lets on. I feel like they almost try to clear his name while presenting a bunch of other people in his place. But what sucks is that they had such a close relationship that I feel like he took advantage of that. And obviously there was more that happened that we know of. But a lot of the other guys in the show, it wasn't like that, where they had that relationship. Like the one that talks about with Drake, like that was straight up fucking assault. And it was fucking disgusting what they tell. So, I mean, like, I'm not saying that it's any better what Dan Schneider did. He's an absolute scumbag and somehow got his name cleared by this documentary. But what happened to some of the other cats, like, that's fucking wild, dude. Like the scene where they start talking to his father.
How did it make you feel when you finally found out?
Are you kidding? I'm not the same today. The pain's still there from the moment that I knew. It's just I don't wish this on any parent or child whatsoever. It's just devastating.
And what it did to him, just thinking back, like that's something you can't get back, dude. The knowledge that your kids are safe, that's fucking wild, bro. That's what they took from that man. And that sucked. That's some shit.
Drake Bell's mother, like, she needs the answer for some shit, bro.
She needs to get tossed off a fucking cliff.
That's insane to me.
Well, and they said that once she found out what happened, like, she went hard. Like, she's like, oh, let's call the cops and everything. But the fact that it was allowed to happen, especially after the dad warned her about the motherfucker,
but I did say to her, and I said this to her in person, I said, but you never, ever leave Drake alone with Brian Peck, and you never let him be around him unsupervised, period, whatsoever. And Brian just absolutely tricked her.
Exactly.
He could tell.
Drake's dad, he knew. He knew what was going on, and he still let it happen.
And he told her. He told her straight up, be like, look, no matter what the fuck you do, don't leave him alone with that dude.
Don't leave him alone with that dude.
And that's sad because he did everything that he could to prevent that, and then they took that opportunity away from him.
I don't know.
And the second he was gone, the second the Guardian was gone, this dude fucking pounced.
He didn't do everything he could to prevent it because it wouldn't have fucking happened if he did.
No. Did you not miss the part where they took him away? He was not allowed to be part of that. Drake Bell made a decision to kick his dad away as far as custodian. He had to go with his mom. Dad signed over the rights. So it wasn't anything to do with his dad. His dad got taken out.
That happened in real time.
Understand this about the Predator. He knew that his parents' relationship was tumultuous.
He knew the strings of players.
Okay?
Yep.
So with people who were split up that have kids, here's one thing that gets missed a lot. They become selfish and forget about the kids. It's all about how they feel. They completely forget the kid. Now, most Hollywood parents, I hate to say this, most of them are scumbags because they're just literally using their kid to make money. You know what I'm saying?
So many.
So when he told her that, and she just brushed it under the rug because she didn't give a fuck about what this dude was thinking or how he felt about his own son, and just was like, nah, I need my son to make me this money.
He's been
sent him off
there.
with this dude.
He's been with him this whole time. He knows that this dude is a fucking predator. You can tell, and it makes you look at Drake Bell a little bit differently. Like all the stuff that's happened to him the last 10, 15 years. It's like, it actually makes sense now.
Yeah, and I wouldn't justify it, but it does give reason to like, okay, well, there was some shit under there. I didn't know
substance abuse and shit like that. It's like, this motherfucker was.
And I mean, dude, we're feeling bad for Drake, which I do because it's fucked up. But let's not forget, Orlando Brown has been in your face about this. Not only has Orlando Brown been in everybody's face about this, but Corey fucking Feldman has been in everybody's face about this.
No. Fuck Corey Feldman.
For a long time.
Fuck Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman hasn't given any names. He's had multiple opportunities. He's talked about an open secret in Hollywood, and he's had multiple chances to give names. The only names that Corey's ever come up with were the names that we already knew about. What, Charlie Sheen? It'd be weirder if he didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, Corey Feldman, I feel like Corey Feldman is the reason why Corey Haim fucking died. I'll say it. He was the one that pulled Corey Haim into that lifestyle and got him screwed. I think what Corey Feldman was on their side, he got recruited in early. I feel like he's a fucking plant. I'm going to say that's me.
He was
Corey
a recruit.
Feldman.
Interesting take.
Yeah,
I know,
100%.
and we never talked about it. Of course, it never got far.
Sean and I have been talking about that particular subject for quite some time. Yeah, it's a pretty firm, strong gut feeling that Feldman was recruited pretty early on. He brought in a lot of those cats.
Haim was his sacrifice.
Yeah, Haim was like his sacrifice type of thing, and there's a pretty deep rabbit hole to go down with that. Like his whole trying to even sell the story right now. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, sorry, this is the first time we ever talked about it, but I had to get that out in the open.
Yeah.
I can't support him. And the fact that he's now riding on that thunder, like he's still. Have you seen him go out there and do his shows lately? Like he's out there, he's performing, he's got songs and shit, and like his angels,
they're terrible.
Fucking
they're
weird
terrible.
angels that follow him around and shit. Have you seen the way he treats them? Like they gotta fucking rub his back and do all this weird shit and stuff. So he'll bring them on stage and hopefully they get a career, but most of them he fires.
Yeah, no, Sean, you make a good point. Like he hasn't said who, he hasn't said names.
I
don't know why.
And the only times that he's brought it up, he's like, okay, yeah, listen, a lot of people, it's gonna shock the fucking world, and everybody's like, who is it? And he's like, I'll tell you what, I can tell you, but I'll only do it in a movie that you have to pay me $2 million to make. That's what that motherfucker said. He wanted money to make a movie.
He's done it multiple times now.
That's exactly what he's like. I can't do it. I can't just do it. I have to do it as a movie because that's what's going to protect me. If I do it as a movie, I'll be protected and they can't get to me. But you got to understand, I'm dealing with all this pressure and blah, blah, blah.
No.
Give me money. Fuck it.
I wish I had $2 million. I'd give it to him. Just to call his bluff.
Then who? And he would tell you the same shit. He'd be like, well, Charlie Sheen, and then he'd give you 3 other names of motherfuckers that you already knew about. And you want to punch him in his shit and give him $1 million back, motherfucker.
Yeah, Sheen, Weinstein, Richard Donner, and Steven Spielberg. I think that's the only people that he's related to.
Yeah, we all know about those guys. But to go back to the Nickelodeon thing, on top of them fucking Amanda Bynes, some of the black kids on this show.
Yeah.
Seeing how they degraded them.
I did the peanut butter one, so I had to be submerged in peanut butter. That was weird. But then the dogs come, I'm laying on the ground, and then the dogs, they gotta lick peanut butter off my body. That sounds like some kind of awkward fantasy from some freaky dude. It was really uncomfortable. I didn't like that.
I don't like this. I feel gross.
Bro, that was fucking
pushed
wild.
one of the parent,
I had no idea. Like, especially watching the one talk later, Brian Hearn was like, dude, like, the fact that they put him in these fucking skits that were completely stereotypical, like his mom had a great point.
No way that the German guy wrote stories that would be bad on the black guy. That's impossible.
Schneider wasn't like a well-rounded adult. Like he was a fucking giant kid that got power, and that's what was fucked up. Like
he was the Weinstein of like 90s kids.
Straight up creeper, because when you see the clips, like, I mean, if someone's thirsty and someone is claiming to be thirsty, they're going to make sure the water goes into their mouth.
Yeah, they're going to drink it.
They're not going to lay back like they're about to take a cum shot to the face and just start pouring water on their neck and letting it drip off their fucking face. There's the Jamie Lynn Spears clip where they fucking the cum shot to the eye.
One of the most disturbing memories that I have would probably be the backpack episode with Jamie Lynn Spears.
You just bite the tip.
There are these goo pops, and my character can't get it open.
Wait, it's not coming out.
And it ends up squirting onto Jamie's face. So the prop person comes onto set with a syringe. We all like stood behind the camera to watch. It lands on her face. So first it was Dan roaring, laughing, and then everyone kind of giggling. We heard the boys saying, it's a shot.
The feet thing, like you have adults rubbing children's feet on TV.
But bro,
Yeah,
you have adults that aren't Dan Snyder that are working there, but everybody's so damn afraid of this dude. Nobody can say anything. That this don't make no sense. This none of the like the Ariana Grande shit is weird because those are like there's a lot of them.
Oh, there's
a
lot of
little.
Ariana was definitely taking it from those execs. That's how she got to where she's at.
Well, I mean, look at her now. It's like you don't get to the platform that you're at now and have your own albums and like gotten to the level that she's at without fucking, yes, daddy, I'll do whatever you want. That's fucking crazy. And I mean, I'm sure that a lot of people never propelled to that level because at some point they told these sons of bitches no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it was just kind of fucked up how the black kids just didn't matter. It didn't matter which black kid or black girl or black boy it was. They just didn't matter. Hey,
bro, it was the 90s, man. Being racist is all right in the 90s, man.
I mean, it still is today. I mean, I don't...
No, it is.
It still is
just
today.
A little bit more, spotlight.
Yeah.
But like in the 90s, it's like,
yeah,
whatever.
You can't talk about it in any circles nowadays.
I was just going to say, it's not, you have to go into pretty concentrated areas to find it like that. Like, because here's how I know. Because in our more metropolis-based areas, those of us around are not going to stand for it or allow for it. It's only going to be in these like little, you know what I mean, like hole in the wall places that are off the grid. And
unfortunately, like if you look at it, like check Orlando for example. Orlando's a big melting pot, but everywhere outside of Orlando, and I know you got nothing but rebel flag flying, cousin fucking hillbillies that hate niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but outside of these, woke cities, if you will, they're surrounded by these filthy cousin fucking racists. Well, they are all over. Now, it's unfortunate. I mean, I'd like to think that things are getting better, but unfortunately it's not. It's actually become cooler to lynch a dude that's black than it was back in the day. They just throw it in your face. Oh, he possibly committed suicide. There's no way this brother walked into the woods, because this happened in Tennessee, I think it was like a month ago. He walked into the woods with a white girl, got strung up into the fucking trees. He committed suicide. How the fuck did he get up there? I mean, and in Mississippi, Alabama, I can just pull up so many fucking stories in those areas. Louisiana.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous how rampant it is. So like, it's just cool to be racist in the United States of America. I mean, and anywhere else that matter. But
I'm gonna say, I've definitely heard some people say some dumb shit, but I feel like the circles that we keep really dictate that. Like, there is an amount out there. I see it on the internet all the time. You see these young kids going on there and just popping off some stupid shit, and it does happen. And honestly, those kids will find each other. They'll reinforce that belief. So I'm not saying it's gone. But what I will say is, like, there's a lot more people that are smart people, intelligent people. I mean, I feel like that's always been the case. I was going to say they left it to the wayside, but intelligent people have never treated it as such. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like there's still that. You're always going to have these young, dumb, stupid idiots that just grab onto whatever beliefs they think are going to strengthen them and make them badass. And it sucks because that's that bullshit. That's what keeps perpetuating it.
Hey.
But like,
to be honest,
people,
man,
it's fucked up shit.
Racism is a foundational point of this country, so it's kind of always going to be there. To be completely honest, like, the country was built on it. It's fucked up as it is. So,
well, I mean, it's human. It's human fear what you don't know, and because of the fact that we are the two biggest groups here, I think that you're right. It's going to be inherent because people aren't willing to learn the difference. It's like what we talk about on the show all the time. If motherfuckers would open up and have that dialogue like we're open to do and shit, like, we can sit here and joke about it. Like, we can call each other racist because we know at the end of the day, none of us mean that shit. But does it not exist because the more of us can get along? shit, man. There's motherfuckers that can't sit there and talk to another person of another race because they'll just feel that hatred, and that's fucking that's stupid, that blind, and you can't just see past that hatred to have a fucking dialogue and realize you're pretty much the same. You want the same shit at least.
Well said.
Yeah, I don't get the hate.
Moving on, we wrapped up the Nickelodeon thing. The Drake thing is disgusting. I mean, and before I move on, because I want to get into the Shogun thing. What's even more disgusting is the guy who did those terrible things to Drake.
What?
Served 16 months.
Bro, I was astounded.
And was able to come back and work around children again.
Yeah,
in particular, those twins from the Adam Sandler movie.
Sweet.
The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. They hired him to work on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody as soon as he got out of prison for only 16 months for violently assaulting an underage boy.
Dylan and Cole
multiple times.
What about there being 3 pedophiles working at Nickelodeon
on one time?
Handy, the guy Handy who molested little Brandy. Dude.
Wait, are you talking about Jason? Right? I think Jason. This is my personal opinion. Obviously, I wasn't there. I always disclaimer with that, but I think Jason was set up to be a fall guy back when it was going on. I'm not 100% convinced about the Jason. Not saying it's not true,
man, but
I mean, you would go home and write. You think some of those guys are?
But he sent her, and that's what they said.
He sent her a picture of him.
A journal. Oh, I'm gonna have to give it to. That's what I'm telling.
And all of a sudden, I noticed she had suddenly shut down the computer completely, and got up and ran into her bedroom and slammed the bedroom door shut. And I said, "Brandy, what is wrong?" She started to cry, and she said, "I got an email from Jason." It was a picture of him naked, masturbating. And he said he had sent it to her because he wanted her to see that he was thinking of her.
Some of the evidence was ridiculous, though, like the journal.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like the evidence.
Like even if that was your thing, why you gonna write it? That's wild.
Yeah, like
if you put it in a picture, yes, it looks.
That's weird.
Smells again. It's my gut. It smells to me like back when they were starting.
That's a very good point. Like you don't look, man. Motherfuckers do some weird shit. They don't journal it, dog. That's weird.
Let's put it on this guy. Let's put it on this guy. But then since then, it's come out on a much larger scale. You understand? And now we have much more of like a paper trail to shit. And back then it wasn't so much. We didn't have the internet.
And let me tell you,
that's a good point.
Before I go, I will say this about what's his name? Fat Boy with no name.
Snyder.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was I think made by his people.
Even though folks haven't come out outwardly and said that Schneider's done it, I believe Schneider has molested some of these children.
Yeah.
Especially Amanda Bynes.
So,
yes. Yeah, that's the evidence. That's the evidence right there. What happened to Amanda Bynes couldn't have happened anyway unless she was fucked up along the way.
Yeah.
I have Dice sitting right
1 minute
next
so
to
we can
me.
talk Shogun.
Real quick. I have Dice sitting next to me. Dice, unlike the 4 of us, that's her age bracket. All right. She's 12 years younger than me. So her age bracket is she's a 90s baby. So this affected her in ways that it didn't affect us. Okay. On one. Second part is once she did go through all of this, she started and she's been all through Amanda Bynes' tweets over these last couple of years and all kinds of other shit. Long story short, she has come on there and said, "What about Dan?" And like all these other little cryptic tweets all over the place. Is there any other examples you would want me to give, like that were very specific to Dan?
I mean, she pretty much said in there that like some of her things were cryptic, but she said Dan did it, and
Dan did it.
Specifically, my boss.
Like she's slick about how she did it, but she definitely like I feel strongly personally that this particular documentary was. If you start to follow the paper trail and the money trail, it's probably Dan's people, and they did this to tamp the light off of him. Sony.
Because you see how Drake went out of his way to say, "Oh, out of everybody, Dan was the only one there."
They made it a point a couple times to really kind of. That's what I'm saying. They cleared his name, and that's something I did not expect from this documentary.
Exactly.
That was off the wall to me.
Hey guys, to be fair, I'm a little bit younger too, so that's
true.
kind of ruined my childhood.
My bad, Marcus.
Just a little bit.
Oh yeah,
slightly.
Of course.
Not all the way.
I was
I
gonna get the
knew it was
picture. Who are you
wild.
talking about? When I was 11, I was gonna get the picture, and I was not molested for the record.
This is.
You weren't pretty
I
enough.
knew it was wild when I was a kid, but I was like, I didn't understand the magnitude of it. I just thought it was kind of odd that
Same
they
thing
would do
Di
things
said.
the way they did.
I said when I was watching these shows, none of this stuff seemed sexual to me at the time. I never had these thoughts about it. It was all funny to me. Like even watching the cum shot stuff. She says, looking at it now as an adult, I'm like, oh my God. But going back then, I don't remember nothing like that.
like I said when we were talking the other day on the phone, like imagine it now as a parent. Like if that was your child, you'd want to beat that ass fast. Like, yeah, you'd have
and
no
like she
remorse.
said, we're desensitized to stuff now. Like back then, a child watching that wouldn't even think that. But like if our 12-year-old was to watch that, she would 100% know what was going on. She's more perverted than the four of us put together.
I was gonna say your 12-year-old's
yeah. She's
on that
crazy.
spectrum.
All right, so we got 5 minutes left. Let's talk a little bit of Shogun. I don't know how much we'll be able to talk Shogun, but
5 minutes.
I don't think we're going to do it justice in fucking 5 minutes.
It's hard
but
to.
Episodes, was it 2 through 5?
Yes.
Like, before we do this, I want to change my rating for Monarch, The Legacy of Monsters, to 4.5 blunts
like that.
5. Yeah. Instead of because I was looking back at the video and I thought I had said 4.5, but I said 4. But I give it 4.5 out of 5 blunts.
I've gotten better.
It is that good of a show because I gave Shogun such a high rating. I was like, I can't just shit on Monarch.
All you guys said 5, didn't you? All 5.
We all said 5 on Shogun, but he's talking about Monarch. He kicked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I give that 4.5. But
yeah, you're all disrespectful about it, son.
I know.
So Marcus, you're caught up to episode 5. We haven't seen the 6th episode, which is that.
I seen episode 6.
Now he's seen episode 6. Now he's
so now you're talking shit.
Marcus is ahead of us.
Like the one that's on the fence
last week. All right, that's cool.
So what are your thoughts on the show? Too Asian for you?
Okay. No, see, I'm not. I know where you're taking me. I'm not going there with you. I'm not gonna go there with you. I'll say though, like, okay, the choreographed fight scenes awesome. It looks awesome. The dialogue is great. It's really just the time period kind of thing for me. But with that being said, I listened to because I told y'all I appreciated y'all's view of it and made me look at it a different way. So watching it in that with a different eye, I'm like, oh, I get why these guys like it. Like, would it be like my go-to show or like my favorite thing? No, but like I'm invested in it at this point. Like I kind of want to see where it's going,
and you get it.
Like I think the leads are like really, really fucking great actors. Like I'm not aware of like who the hell any of these people are, except
I've seen most of them in other
the other pilot, the Portuguese pilot. I feel like I've seen him before. I don't know where.
Yeah, I can't remember where.
Oh,
but now let me get. I don't know. Did he bang Mariko?
Yeah, bro.
Or
yeah.
Okay. So I was right.
It was kind of dark, but yeah, that was her because they were acting all coy and shit.
Both of them had that smile the next day.
I knew it was going to happen.
She told him
she showed up while he was naked.
Oh no,
he was in there
dude.
naked, and she stayed. I'm like,
no, she said to him, she said, "I'm glad you changed your mind about the bath." That didn't hit it, right? And then the next morning, right? She came out and was like, "Oh, you look like you're in good spirits." And he says, "Oh, after company like that." And she said, "Oh, so who I sent was good enough." Right?
Yeah.
But see, the other girl, right? She was supposed to be the one, but she got on. She's the only one that caught on. She's like, oh, these two. So she didn't go do anything more because she knows that Manico likes him. But the best, bro, is Papa coming home Like, and then
dude, when her husband came back,
her face said it all.
Oh, well, you see her face as soon as she hears that her husband's alive. You see her face.
生きておられた。ご覧なさいませ。そなたの夫じゃ。
And here's the thing, over there, like over here, you fuck. It's like, oh, I gotta be embarrassed. Over there, they could die.
Yeah.
Like they could both be killed for that. Her husband has the right to kill her and him. Over there, at that time, the wife was the property of the husband. So if they're property, he is legally allowed to kill her and him.
Yeah, that's property.
I'm saying this, her face said, and she said, her face literally said, "My God, I just got used to this white dick. Now I got to come back to this motherfucker."
Yep,
and that's why she dipped out though too. That's why she dipped out from this guy from Blackthorn, because she's like, well, fuck that. Like, now that he's alive, I really fucked up. Like, she was gonna dip in fully. Like, she was all about it, but now that he's alive, she's like, I can't do that because of honor and shit.
She hates her husband. She hates him.
Absolutely.
I kind of hate him too.
He hates him, and he beats on her and all of that. And all of that.
Yeah,
but this is a big point that she's trying to make to the pilot in this whole point and period. Like, this is a big example of it. And it kind of brings up the underlying thing there, which is respect and honor mean a lot here. You think you're about freedom. She basically says, yeah, you white boys think that you're free. But by not giving a fuck about everybody else and not having respect and honor makes you very much a slave to yourself. Because you don't have any rules, because you don't have any morals. And that's what that whole like kind of, obviously we're only seeing 6 episodes. I know Sean don't agree, but we're going to see a much bigger story to all of this eventually. When we get a few seasons deep, even a whole season deep, we'll be able to look back at this. But that's what it's looking like right now. Like, she's trying to teach him that it's more than just tradition.
Real quick, I want to give my counterpoint to that, because Rick and I were talking about this earlier. Yeah, I get that, and I understand, and believe me, I understand they're all about tradition and honor and more. I get that, but I'm with his point of the argument. The fact that he's like, listen, because of the fact that you're slaves to the system, this dogma, this conditioning, this mind control, you're not living you. You're living for your husband. You were living for your father. When are you going to live for you? And she can't do that. She can't do that because she's imprisoned by these fucking thoughts, these dogmas that are, at the end of the day, intangible and somewhat bullshit. So
today,
to me,
yes,
I'm with him.
But back then, that's not bullshit. That's not bullshit, because if you don't have that respect, like
in the reality, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about their opinion.
Pointed it out though, because
it doesn't validate. Back then, it doesn't validate.
Her husband could kill her for what she did. Now
not if you kill him first.
There you go.
Now, to wrap things up, I got to say, the female gangster on that show is the heir's mother.
Oh yeah.
She told the council.
She's a big force in and out. She's kicking out.
Yes, she is. So yeah, folks, if you are not watching this show, it is called Shogun. It's on Hulu, I believe Disney Plus. If not, it's definitely on Hulu. Definitely worth a watch. Again, so far, we all, outside of Marcus, we all give it 5 blunts.
He has his reasons.
We got time, man. It's fluid. It could change by the end of the season.
I like the 60. To Marcus,
I give it a 4.
I like the 1600s way better than I like watching the fucking westerns that we've been watching for the last 3 decades.
I hear that. But hey, if you guys are looking for any artwork, please feel free to hit my nephew Nate up. His info is in our bio. Also, if you guys are looking for any timeshare, hit our brother Sean up. He will definitely take care of you. Also, please like, subscribe, check out our merch. Our Ryan Garcia video got a ton of views. I want to thank everybody for viewing that video, showing us all the love.
View this one as well.
This
one. View all our old ones too.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Let's watch them on the week.
Sir.
And the
check out Nish, the producer of our intro and outro track. It's called Trap Sex. You can find his music at YouTube, SoundCloud, dope producer. Give him a shout. You know, tell him the Blunt Lab sent you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So signing off. I'm Al, Marcus, Sean, and Rick. Peace.